Hello everyone, I am Dusty Fan, and this is going to be a painting tutorial describing 3 different ways you can paint your subject. I have the first method, which is using flat colors, shading the flat colors, and using color adjustment layers. So now, we are going to use the bucket tool, hit refer to other layers, choose a beautiful rich skin tone, and boom, we've colored it in, because the black outline served as our liner. This color with no shading is called our flat colors. Now, beginning with flat colors is a very good way to be able to figure out the colors that you want for the drawing, figure out the skin tone, the clothing, all of that. So after we have our beautiful flat color, it's time to shade. Now I'm going to teach you something really cool. If you do not want to go outside of the lines of your flat color, you can have the layer that's on top of it and then clip to layer below. Now, if I choose like a nice rich shader, see, I'm technically coloring outside the lines, but they can't see it. Isn't that lovely? Alright, so now that we have our 4 shaded sections, we have the very, very dark section, we have the middle ground, we have the flat color, then we have the light. Now that we have that, we can go in and we can use adjustment layers. Adjustment layers are great for adding different colors and scenes and feelings to these. So I'm going to merge these 2 layers together. Now they're merged. Then I'm going to go on the layer above the line art layer, which you can barely see, but it's that. And I am going to then put all of these into a folder. So these are all in a folder, a different folder from the one before. And I have this layer on top of the folder, and I'm going to use clip to layer below and multiply. So now that I've done that, we can add some lighting. Say you want to have like a pink dusk feeling or mood. I sometimes use just the, I forgot to tell you, change the bucket tool to refer to only editing layer. You can do use the bucket tool. You can change how you want it to look. Yeah, I'll do it like that. And then I use the airbrush as an eraser, and I erase the lighter areas. And then I get a new layer, click the layer, add glow, and sometimes I go like orangey or yellow. And that's the first method. Use flat colors, shade the flat colors, use color adjustment layers. Now, for the second method, we're going to use flat colors again, but then we're going to use color adjustment layers, and then shade the flat colors, and if needed, use more color adjustment layers. This method is a method I used in this piece that's on screen right now. It was very helpful in making the piece more vibrant and lively. So, what we're going to do is the same thing we did for the first circle. We're going to make a new layer, put it underneath that layer, put the circle layer and the layer with nothing else in it in a new folder. Now we are going to use the eye tool with our flat color, and we are going to refer other layers, make sure that's on. Go to the layer underneath the circle, our line art, and boop, fill it in. Right, now we're going to hit new layer, click to layer below, and we're going to use adjustment layers now. So I'm going to go to multiply. I am going to, there's different ways you can do this. You can use the bucket tool. Say we wanted to do that like same like glow kind of color. We can start like that. Then you can take the airbrush, put it on the transparent layer. And you can airbrush the top away. So now you have like the top and then like that part shaded. And then you can also, another thing you can do is you can use the brush and hit transparent layer, and so it's kind of like you're painting as well. I think I sometimes prefer mixing them and still using the soft eraser or the airbrush eraser, because when you go back again to shade the flat colors, you're still going to be adding brush strokes at that point. So it's good to stick to soft airbrush unless you want to erase it with the brush. You know, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so now that we have that, we're going to create and I forgot to tell you. Okay. You're supposed to put remember, you're supposed to put the liner and the flat colors on folder, and then you have the multiply layer on top of the liner and the flat colors. Alright. Then you make a new layer, flip the layer, add glow, and now you can add your light. Now I have my light. And so using this method is really good if you want to plan how the lighting works. So it's easier to plan your lighting and your shading like this than the first method. The first method is for if you know exactly how you want the shading and the lighting scenario to work out. Like if you have a reference photo, you just know in your head exactly what you want. This second method is good for planning out the lighting. If you don't really know what you want to do with the lighting, so say you just didn't like the way we just shaded this, say you wanted to do like cooler tones or like a night scene, just delete it. You can go to like a blue for the multiply layer. Then you can use the soft airbrush. Soft airbrush. Take it off a little, and then you can get like the light blue light, and now we have done it. Like we'll add a little bit of warmth, a little bit of warmth. But now we have done it as if it was lit in like a moonlight situation. And so yeah, so after you've done this and you like what you've done with it, it all is turning out the way you wanted it to, then you will take this folder, and you'll place a layer on top of the entire folder. Now, after you've done that, you take the eyedropping tool, and then you can start painting. You want to add those brushes. Now, you see I'm painting, but it's going off, so if you don't want that, clip. And then we use the eyedropping tool, and we begin painting. This is also good if you like struggle with in between colors and things like that, because then you can just kind of eyedrop everything. And now you have a beautifully blended painting. Beautifully blended skin tone with the lighting situation that you chose. So that's another way. And so after you do this, you can add more adjustment layers. So we'll put all these folders in yet another layer folder. Add a layer on top of that folder. And then you can add more adjustment layers. So you add glow, can you clip to layer if you're just doing that. Usually for this part, you'd probably be adding adjustment layers to like the entire painting, so you wouldn't really be clipping, but you can clip to that and add even more lighting situation. Add even more stuff, even go absolutely crazy, you know, go absolutely bonkers. Whatever goes. I love going crazy with adjustment layers. You can use color burn layer, do some really cool stuff with that too. Makes things like darker, burns it kind of. You even add like, I don't know, blues if you really want to make it nice and cool on the part that's away from the light. That adds a really cool effect as well. And yeah, see, I'm just literally going bonkers with this lighting. And there we go. That's our second method. Now we can move on to the third method. And the third method is where we start in grayscale and move on to color. Now I'm only going to show you how to shade in grayscale. In order to change the grayscale into color, I will guide you to my lovely video about digital glazing. So make sure you have your 2 layers into your folder. So your line art layer, for us that is the circle, and then your flat color layer, which is going to be this other layer underneath. And then we are going to go bucket tool, refer to other layers, and now we are going to do grayscale. So there are many different ways. You can probably get like a grayscale color wheel thing. I'm just sticking to the very side of it. But yeah, you can do whatever suits you, whatever's best. And we're going to try to match the color that we have right there with its gray counterpart. So now that we have that, this is our 1 flat grayscale color for the subject. Now we're going to add 3 flat grayscale shading layers. I'm going to hit new layer, hit clip to layer below. This part of the process was inspired by how anime artists color. It's called cell shading. So I'm doing my own spin to it. You start with selection tool, you get that darker area, you have your middle ground, then you have your light area. So Alright, so I have my darker area, my middle ground, my light area. Now something really cool you can do, if you make this darker area larger, is you can add another darker. So now you can see that I have a darker, a middle ground, and a light, harsh light. So you can play around with this, play around with where exactly you want the shading to be, and you see this lovely gradient. Another thing that you want to do is make sure you follow the curve, which is what I'm trying to implement. Anyways, now you see I have these 3 shades, right? And so after you do this, you know what you can do? Use a lovely blending tool. You can blend it all in together. Just add some really cool sharp edges for clothing if you want to use it for clothing, if you don't want to blend it in too much. You can also use circular motions with your pen to blend it in even more. This is a technique that a lot of painters use. Circular motions with like a medium in order to properly blend. Now, in order to go from this to color, you get to watch my Color by Digitally Glazing video. Huzzah! And now we have 3 different ways of shading. Now you can use each method to achieve a different kind of style and feel. So the first method is really good if you want a more painterly style. Second method is also again good for painterly style, but it's also good if you don't really know the lighting situation that you want at first. It's easier to play around with the lighting situation with the second method. And then the third method is good if you want a lot of deep contrasting value, because when you start in grayscale, you are more focused on the value than the colors, so it leads your work to have nice, sharp, contrasting value. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope this was able to help you understand, different shading methods that can help your art journey be a little easier. And yeah, thank you. See you in the next video.
And if you don't want to do all of that, you can just commission me.
Right now, if you go to my Ko-Fi, you can find many different options for any type of commission. I have cute little commissions that are little icons. I also have painted pieces or things that are in black and white, manga style. So anything you want, I got it.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you'd like more tutorials in the future.